Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brad, and SuperCoach Pro. Today's video we're doing a round 3 preview. Pretty excited for this one. It's a late one. I am recording in my room because the original video didn't work, so that's fantastic. So here we go. We went 2,479, hoping to back that up again. If I can get a big score at that, you're almost probably getting that top 1k this week. Some big dogs you got to be chasing this week. Probably like your Hewitt, your Cripps. But we'll go through that in the video, my trades, vice captains, captains, all those sort of things, and we'll have a look at the ones that people are trading out real quick. So let's get stuck into it. First of all, if you go into players, you can see who's been traded out the most, and for good reason. Some of these should be on the list. But I feel like if you're getting rid of your primos, it should be only if you've got all the right rookies. So, first of all, Lachie Whitfield, I did say in my review, it's nothing to get too scared about, but this is a luxury trade for me, and I'll go through why. It's sort of one of those things where if you've got the right rookies, you probably can trade him to an Aaron Hall, Tom Stewart, those sort of players, but if you need to get rookies on field, that's the most important thing, because cash generation is more important than sideways primos. Expand the screen there. Dustin Martin, for obvious reasons, I think I would trade out just in case the man does not come back this season. He's done a lot for Richmond, and I'm proud to be a Richmond supporter. He's done so much for us, so thank you, Dusty. Maxi Gawn, I probably wouldn't get rid of. I think he's going to be top 2, top 3 ruckman by the end of the season, and you're going to have to trade him back in anyway, so you're essentially wasting 2 trades to trade out the big man. Mitch Mcgovern, I can understand, facilitated in this trade. He did a lockdown role and scored 40 points. His cash generation is probably halted, and he's probably not one you really want to field either. So, role looked great in the preseason, but with all the guys back there, he's just not getting the points that we thought he might. He only went 70 and a 40, so not great. Jack Steele for mine, I wouldn't get rid of him. I think he's actually a VC option this week against Richmond, to be honest. And yeah, just who you're going to go to that's going to outscore him by 20 points? Probably no one. So, not worth it. This is why I didn't actually start him, because he did this at the start of last season. So, do your history on players. He has slow starts to the season multiple times. So, that's why I chose Tookmill over him. And he's better with Ryder in the side, so that's another thing. But I think he scores 150 against the Tigers. And Jared Berry plays North Melbourne, and 5,000 coaches want to get rid of him. That's just ridiculous. I'm not even going to get into that. Josh Ward, I just don't understand this one either. Eventually, he's going to score a nice score, and he's only 180,000. I just don't know why you trade him out. Cameron, can understand that trade for sure. It's just not worth the price, and there's better people at his, sort of coin, like Will Brodie, Tristan Cherry. I'd rather those guys over him. Baldwin probably gets a game this week, potentially. He played really well on the weekend in the VFL, so wouldn't be trading him out just yet, and he'd be a nice little loophole in your forward rookie line anyway. So, same with DeConning, if you can use him as a loop with Hinge, Skinner, Gipkus, I wouldn't be trading him either. Traded ins, just quickly go through this. Cripps, unfortunately, is a must. Say unfortunately because I just don't like watching him play. It's because I'm a Richmond man, so a bit biased. And he tore us a new one last week, so whatever. Heaney, probably not one I really want to jump on just yet. I want to see some consistency. He'll have a 50 game where you can pick him up for cheap anyway. Plays the Dogs this weekend. Don't think he'll go massive. He has to kick 4 or 5 to get 140s anyway. I think he's probably your 100, sort of average from here on out. So I'm not going to chase that one, but I'll definitely be chasing Cripps because it's really hard to get a 650,000 midfielder by round 6. Whereas a 4 and primo and 4 lines more likely than not. George Hewitt for mine, probably one you can grab. 400k, you probably go on him. Maybe Whitfield down to George Hewitt's probably the only move I could really see there. But even then, I'm not too sure Whitfield could come back. Whitfield probably score nice against Gold Coast, and then you probably hold in and score another bad one after that. Bowie, I'm going to jump on. I'll show you my trades for why I'm going to do that. I think he's short-term the Tex Walker of last year. He's not a keeper. He's just a money-making machine, 150k. Get rid of him around 7 and bring in Hall. Tristan Cherry, I can see why people bring in this guy. He's a ruckman at North there with Goldstein, sharing that 50-50 load. So he's going to make some good coin for us this year. So it was nice starting with him. Luke Jackson for mine, don't bring him in. I'd rather Tim English, who's probably going to be a top 6 forward. I could be wrong by around 23, but I'm pretty happy to say I'm not going to bring that bloke in ever until maybe next couple of years when Gordon's retired. Lockie Neal for mine, probably a must along with Cripps. I wouldn't be moving him for a primo as such, unless it was one that scored 2 back-to-back really dud scores there. Aaron Hall, I can see why I'd bring him in. The only reason I didn't start him was he had a hamstring injury, and in round 1 he plays. Tom Stewart I didn't start either because apparently had a baby on the way, and I didn't want him to miss round 1 or 2. So really sucks not starting those 2 guys, to be honest. Dylan Stephenson, you're probably a must. Like he's on the wing for Sydney. He's like a 3rd-year player, I think. It was a top 10 pick, so I just think he's good for his price. And Brayshaw, he was going to be my pod instead of Lockie Neal, but they're probably going to average the same. So don't know who you're bringing him in for, but don't blame you. Anyway, bit of rambling, but I thought I'd give you a little bit more because sometimes I don't really delve into those sort of things, but I thought it would help this week. As to who to field, if you've got a similar side to mine, flip a coin between Hinge and McCartan, but McCartan scored 2 back-to-back decent scores. He's obviously not going to be my captain. That'd just be stupid. I'm going to just make it Lockie Neal against North Melbourne. And I'm going to bring in Cripps because that's the actual captain I want to have. You'll see how I'm going to do this move in a second. Just making sure I'm fielding all the right rookies here. Probably don't want to field Hayes if Ryder's back this week, which I'm actually banking on. And I need Will Brodie in the forward line here. Stevens for the meantime comes to the midfield. Even if I left my trades like that and I didn't trade, the side still looks pretty decent. You have a look at some of the top teams in top 50 and they're actually pretty bad. They're just fluky that Witt scored 130 or whatever in the first round, and some of these guys that are in top 50 are going to come out real quick because they just don't got enough long-term cash generation. In my opinion anyway. So I reckon what we'll do, Whitfield for mine has to go. I just think the role's there, but he just looks like he might be carrying something. I'd love to go just Aaron Hall up there. But I just want to bring in Cripps. I think he's important for us this year. McGovern goes. I don't want to use a trade boost, so I just can't see myself bringing in any other option. Or who do I want to trade out? I don't want to trade out Berry. He plays North. I'd be kicking myself if he went big. Forward line's pretty good. Mid and defence is fine. So I just can't see a reason why, if you had a side similar to this, you'd be going a trade boost this early on when we're going to need it for COVID. Potentially. Look at West Coast. If you had 3 players, you probably would have wanted to use the boost early on just to keep ahead of the pack in early days or something. Bowie. Now, the Bowie train has to go by round 6, 7 or 8. You can't be keeping him to round 10 and hoping he's just going to get to crazy sort of money. So you look at price, and by round 4, he's going to go 378 anyway. By round 7, he's almost 400 grand. So that's what I'm jumping off. Because he only makes you an extra 10 grand every time you try to play the game against it. After round 5 looks like where you want to go, potentially. We'll figure that out later on, obviously. Trade-in player, 150k early on is really nice. I'm making 250k off that, so potentially I'm making close to 400k on that trade in 4 or 5 rounds. Now, how you do that? Now, if you've got DPP, this is really handy this time of year for fixing up your side. It does suck because I now lose my swing, but I don't care. I just need to get Cripps in. Banking 75k is handy because it means at some point I might be able to do one trade if a form primo comes down and my rookie's gone up. I might be able to have enough funds to do one trade for a move at some point. Cripps is not going to be benched, obviously. it's batting a little bit deep, but you always like a decent emergency there anyway. And what I'm actually going to do, so Dixon, I'm hoping doesn't get a game. If he does not get a game, I'm going to go vice captain Neil into Paddy Cripps against the Hawks. I just think he dominates, to be honest. And that's what we're going to do. Now for the footy tips, if you are interested and you are still watching, I think Doggies get the job done. I think Melbourne get the job done. Tipping Port Adelaide here. Giants have to win this one, I think. Cats for mine. Brisbane for sure. Or Carlton, you've got to beat the Hawks, right? And as for this one, trying to take bias out of it. I actually think we win just based on how St Kilda kick straight, which they can't. So, which is going to be a good game for Jaden Short. And West Coast, the derby. Well, Freo. Freo are going to finally win the derby. I don't know when the last time they was the winner. Normally West Coast win those, from what I've seen anyway. Now for mine, I watch probably 7 games. I miss the Thursday and Friday night game generally because I work afternoon shifts, but I replay all of these games. Now there's 2 Friday night games, so do be aware of that. If there's any trades you were thinking of, just chuck them in the comments. I'll answer them tomorrow and during my lunch breaks and whatnot before the bounce at 7:20 tomorrow night. Just check the team sheet at 6:20 p.m. tomorrow. And then at Friday at 5 p.m, they actually confirm the extended bench for the Sunday games as well. So be wary of that. I hope this video was handy for you guys. Thanks for all the new subs. There's been about like 15 to 20 in the last 3 days. So that's amazing. Loving the support. Once I get big enough, I'll do live Q&As and whatnot. And hopefully I can jump on someone's potty and can do some sort of duo. That'd be nice too. Anyway, hope you guys have a good one. And I will catch you on the round review Sunday night or Monday morning. Sorry for the late one. It was meant to come out and I just done about 6 takes tonight. So, yep. Anyway, good night.